Do you know that houses are getting smaller? Hmm. What are some of the best deal? Urban, rural, or burbs?
Out in the burbs. Now, more than not the burbs.
No? You sure?
Well, I am.
Okay.
And then, should you list a property as a fixer upper?
Or renovated.
We're going to answer all these questions, and then probably many others as well.
My name's Ming Richardson with Max One Team, and we're here to give you some updates on today's market.
And my name is Alan Richard. I'm the Max One team too. So we just want to kind of give you good advice about what's happening in the market right now. And we have a lot of information out here for sellers today that we thought would be really helpful to kind of share. First thing is that the number of buyers buying property on all cash, like all cash
Has
buyers,
dropped to the 10-year lowest point.
it's the lowest point in 10 years.
Yep.
So like if you are thinking about selling, and we this is one thing that we hear quite a bit from sellers is, you know what, I just want all cash offers, and let's just stick with that. That's not a great way to be. First of all, it's the lowest point it's been in the last 10 years. And then not only that, when you get when you get an all cash offer in, it rarely is at full price.
It's always a steep discount.
Yeah, they a lot of times buyers think if I can come in with cash, well, gosh, I should be able to get a discount. See, the reality in the market is that at the closing table,
All loan type is
it's
all
all cash at
cash
closing table, right?
because it's
Exactly.
cash to the
Yeah,
seller.
yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's all cash anyway. So don't necessarily be looking for that. Now, that also, as a buyer, that's a good thing, because meaning that we don't have as many all cash offers coming in means that you're going to be competing less with
Investors.
investors right now. Now, we do see where people are moving back heavily to the cities right now. More people are looking to move back into urban areas than the last 10 years. And it definitely went down heavily after COVID or during
Well,
COVID.
that's because nobody want to be so close
Yeah.
that where the germ was spreading. And we did have a
Mhm.
lot of real, death. And unexpected all of a sudden, and
Yeah.
it's taking a toll on the medical physicians as well as the person who actually experienced it.
But even if you took out, the COVID times, the number of people that are looking to move into urban areas is like up more. I mean, drastically more than where it has been even pre-COVID kind of thing. Now, what we found was really interesting is that even though more people are looking to move back, the place where the properties are seeing the greatest amount of value appreciation, where the homes are costing more than they did last year, the number one spot is
Rural
rural. Yeah, out in the sticks, out in the boonies, small towns,
or
those kind
large
of things.
acreage and
Yeah,
tracts.
but I mean, once you get off the beaten path, that's where we're seeing property values appreciate at a higher pace. After that comes in at the suburban. Suburban comes in right after that. And then the one where we're seeing the least amount of property value appreciation
It's
is in the urban
urban.
space. So if you are one of these people that are looking to move more urban, we are seeing where there's some better deals to be had in there right now.
So, if you're a seller, would you want to list your property as move-in ready, updated, renovated, or fixer upper, need TLC, need work?
See, this is a question that we get a lot of times from sellers, where they'll say, "Well, we don't really want to
We
spend the
we don't want to put
money,
twenty
right?
thousand dollar in.
We don't want to update it, and we just like to sell it as is." And generally speaking, for us, how we calculate that out is, I'll compare other renovated properties versus unrenovated properties, kind of see what the spread. And so there's been a recent study out which actually gave us some very good numbers to go on, and so this comes from Zillow, huge data company. They're definitely, they're in the real estate space, but they
Yes.
also gather a lot of data. And what they found is that the most research term, the term where more people are looking for, is remodeled, move-in ready, updated, renovated, and it fetches almost a 4% higher sale price. At the same time, if you look like during COVID, it was a different story. But now, properties that are as is, fixer upper, needs TLC, good bones, those kind of things, those properties are not nearly as in demand. And not only that, what does that number it's what, 7.5%.
Yeah, it's a decrease from the sale value of 7.3 on the average, and that's about a 28 on the average dollar wise. That's about $28,000 difference.
On a discount. And then if you put on there a fixer upper fetches $15,000 to $20,000 more, and a fixer upper fetches
You mean
28.
remodel?
A remodel. I'm sorry. I'm
A
sorry.
remodel property fetch upward about 13,000, almost, yeah,
13, 18,000
13,000
in that
ish.
range, right? But
But a fixer
yes,
upper will
that's
go
what I'm trying to say.
down by 28 on the average by 28,000. So if you take the two number, it's about 42,000, $42,000.
45,000, somewhere in that
Yeah,
range.
depends on what the property condition is truly like. So that's quite substantial money that you're talking about losing out.
So that's why, when a seller says, "Look, we just want to sell as is,"
And that's fine.
the challenge here is that you can't sell as is and fetch remodeled, renovated, updated pricing.
Correct. Think
And
about it. The
yeah,
buyer, when they move in, they not only do they have to take the time to fix it, they also got to come out of pocket to fix it. Not a, and with current cash fire going down, the lowest it's ever been last 10 years. There's not a whole lot of
yeah,
money the buyer has to come in and actually fork out the money to do those renovation.
because we are still seeing a good market right now. We are still, but that being said, almost 25% of our sellers are taking a price cut right now.
In January. This is
Right.
last month.
Yeah. And then, but at the same time, about 25% of our properties sold for above the asking price.
Those are the difference between fixer upper and also renovated move-in ready.
Yeah. Now, the other thing that we're seeing kind of happening in the space here, in the real estate space, is, some folks will say, "Our homes getting smaller?" Well, what we see is that we aren't seeing that homes are necessarily getting. We are seeing where the builders are building a little bit smaller
Smaller
home,
homes,
but what
correct.
we're seeing is that right now affordability is a big deal. And so, if you look at the size of homes that the average buyer is buying right now, they're buying smaller homes. And so, right now, the median square foot for a single family home resale is only 1,800 square foot, which is kind of interesting. So it's not that those resales are getting smaller. I mean, these homes have been on the, like
It's about
they're 5, 10,
affordability.
20 years old, but people are buying smaller homes just because it's what they can afford. And
Correct.
now we are seeing where new construction homes, the builders are building more smaller homes for sure. But that being said, the builders, even though they are building a smaller home, the average the median square footage of a new construction home is 2,100 square foot. So it's 300 square foot bigger than the average resale right
Resale.
now. And so even though we know there's a lot of things going on with in new construction and spaces like that, we are seeing where the average new construction home actually is fetching more value per foot right now than a lot of our resales are. Now, one thing we want to kind of wrap up with today is kind of what's going on with home insurance. You cannot be a home seller or even a homeowner and not recognize what's happened. And so we're having, as real estate professionals in the past, we've not had to spend a lot of time talking about insurance. We just kind of had to have it. Right now, we're seeing where not so much in Georgia, and we're very thankful, but
But around your east coastline, your west coastline, where the most recent
Florida, yeah.
hurricane and also flood and fire and tornado, those are the states that are experiencing the most increase in insurance.
Well, they're also the states where people are like not insuring their properties. Now you're going to have to own your property outright to not insure it,
Correct.
to not carry homeowners insurance. But this is now something where, as real estate pros, we used to just kind of almost take for granted. Yeah, just go get homeowners insurance. We all get it. But homeowners insurance has gone up like
Substantial.
15, 20% a year for like 3 years. And even though Georgia doesn't have nearly as many, the insurance companies, because they've got big losses in other places, they're going to they're going to pick that up in other places. So we're seeing
Correct.
where that's a big deal. So shopping for home insurance is now a really big deal. There's a real opportunity to save yourself some substantial amounts of money. Now, how do you do that? Well, you got to look at like what do you really need? Do you need to have really low deductibles? we find that for most of our folks, they're opting to have a much higher deductible so that they can save on their home on what those insurance rates are going to be. Term amounts, that kind of stuff. You don't need to insure land. Land's not going anywhere.
No.
You just
No,
need to insure the
well,
building, right?
depends.
Yeah. I mean, well, generally speaking. So, just if you are going to be looking to buy, make sure that you are, like, during due diligence, almost kind of thing, start shopping for home insurance and start looking at what the different options are. Don't take the first one that you get. And even if you are an existing homeowner right now, that's something that we've done the exact same thing with our property, just being smart about, rates are increasing, that kind of stuff, different companies at different times of year. And
And make
sometimes
sure
they
you
just seem
are
to be doing
compared
things like that.
apples
So,
to apple. What I mean by that, the deductible, the amount of insurance, and what exemption some of the
yeah.
homeowner insurance may have. So read those fine line carefully because it may impact you when a natural disaster hits. We would love to help. Please call, text, or as Alan says, smoke signal.
So,
Or
so I mean, like you can hit us up and visit our website at max1partners.com. You can send us an email over at team@max1partners.com, or you can just call us right on our main number, 678-782-5050. We'd love to help you in any way that we can. Have a great week.
thank you.